Everybody, how are we doing this evening? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm streaming a little bit later than I actually planned to tonight. So I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming because of that, because I was with Mahi as they were kidnapping me, I think, to do stuff on their stream. But yes, how are we all doing? How are we all doing? YouTube is freaking the fuck out. Normally I have like chat up or like how do I explain this? I normally have like a separate tab open which has my YouTube live stream open, which is how I normally view my chat. But for some reason it's just really not working, and OBS for some reason with Stream Elements, it's not giving me the chat dashboard. Really weird. Really, really, really weird. But yes, without further ado, I think it's time that I switch the screen. I need to undeafen myself out of Discord. Why am I getting notifications? God damn it. Okay, here we go. Hello everybody. Hello, at least the Caster Labs chat is working. Awesome. Have I heard that Tactical's Templar is sweeping for Nux Taku? I think I saw a clip. I'll need to go find it again to show that, but yes, Nux Taku, okay. I remember Nux Taku from like old YouTube. I think he was popular around like 2016, where he was doing like all his like anime content. And from my understanding, over the last few years, he's been becoming more like into the right-wing grift, is my understanding, with like Twitch poll and all that gay shit. Very divisive figure is my basic understanding of Nux Taku without like seeing this video. But I've heard very good things about this video. It's been absolutely flooding my timeline, okay? Nikandros, he's been in chat before. Very cool guy, very cool. Very cool guy. I'm very excited to see this. So apparently this is an expose on Nux Taku. I've only watched like the first 2 minutes of this, but I didn't want to get spoiled. This is completely blind, I'm not going to lie, because I'm kind of hoping that all the context that I need for this is going to be in this video. And then yeah, after this, I got really annoyed after finishing the last time I streamed. Because if you guys remember, I did the Give an Ant and Goat Kado stream, and then I did some stuff on Social Repose. Now, I was saying how, like, I was waiting for, like, the part 2 or something of the video to come out, right? Literally, whilst I was streaming about Social Repose, that video came up. They literally had put it out during my live stream, and I didn't notice it until I ended the stream. Which is kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Apparently Nux has like done very light posting on Twitter about this whole thing. We'll probably get to that near the end. But first, to start things off before I get into this video, Fishy wanted me to show this. Let me get this pulled up. What is this, Fishy?
My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff.
Thank you, Fishy. Fuck's sake. What did I expect? What did I expect from Fishy? Fucking hell. Okay. Awesome. Who was Social Repose again? They were a very, very old, like, YouTuber. They were very popular around, like, the, how do I explain this? Like, James Charles, what's his fucking weirdo's name? Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson. They were around that crowd. And what we found out last stream when it came to Social Repose is that they decided to stay friends with someone who they knew and was actively seeing that this person was bringing underage fans to the back of like buses and doing stuff to them. Very much like very weird like rockstar culture stuff. And he was very much aware of that fact, was very aware of like the accusations against this guy, and still decided to go on tour with him. And the interesting thing we learned about last video is that the person that made a video on this guy her video got taken down or got like copyright claimed, or like whatever struck by Social Repose. And after that, Social Repose went out of his way to take down a bunch of his vlogs from like the Blood on the Dance Floor tours and stuff like that. But I can't remember the YouTuber's name. I'll get the video up soon. She had a bunch of the transcripts still saved of these videos, and all of the stuff inside of the videos that he deleted was so incriminating. So incriminating. But yeah, Social Repose, well, like, did he repost? True. Very fucking true. But yeah, I think without further ado, I think we're going to get right into this, okay? Please let me know if I'm being a bit too quiet. It's quite late where I am, so I am trying to be respectful of that fact. But yeah, I think we're going to get right into this. Make sure my OBS is fine. Make sure the subtitles are good. But yes, we'll be doing Social Repose later. But first, we are doing Nux Taku, okay? Let's get into it. And it didn't click play. Pro streamer.
Welcome, I'm Nikandros. This is Tectone, a guy who used to follow 900 hentai accounts on Twitter.
What the fuck? Sorry. I know I said I watched the first 3 minutes, but that was a fucking hot second ago and stuff happened since then. Unfollowed everyone because my ego's enormous, or because I'm 13 and followed 900 hentai accounts, and it's time to grow up. Reply if you want to follow back. Dude. Now, if you guys think that Tectone's name is familiar, for those you do not know who Tectone was, I think he's got... Isn't he a guy with, like, specific accusations against him? But I remember he was the guy who Tactical Templar was giving religious advice to. That's how he fits into the law, okay? That's how Tectone fits into the law.
When likes were still public, people found out that Tectone had liked an animation depicting a Genshin Impact character called Venti getting their back door blown wide open by a BB Hilichurl C.
What?
For context, Venti is an effeminate male character with the body of a 15-year-old boy. So Tectone has a history of joining it to gay porn involving 15-year-old boys. This is more speculative, but photographic evidence suggests that Tectone lives by the slogan, "He who beats it, eats it."
What?
In case you don't know what that means...
Oh.
Now you might be disgusted by this, but given Tectone's physiology, that's actually a very impressive feat.
Is that all?
Me when I show her my penis, I'm 6'8".
Yeah?
I don't know why I would lie about that. My penis.
Oh, right, this part, right? This is when Ace, whenever he says he's 6'4", by the way, this is Ace.
Isn't that small where I feel the need to lie about my height. But I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". Are you 6'8"? I'm 6'8". 6'7". I'm 6'6". I'm
Just
6'7".
slowly decreasing.
6'6", man.
6'7".
Now, for reference, I'm 6'7". I've sometimes claimed to be 200 and sometimes 201 centimeters, but I've never claimed to be 2 whole inches taller. You might say that lying about 2 inches is not a big deal, but
yeah,
to some people, that's all they've got.
Thankfully, I have a very small cock.
Bro.
Tectone was recently served a 10-year protective order.
That was it.
At least 200 yards.
That was it. He was receiving, like, actual, like, legal litigation against him. Because he was, like, leaking shit like that, or, like, talking about stuff that he shouldn't do online. I think Fauci did a stream talking about it. I think Dickers did as well. I haven't really been keeping up with that topic, I'm not gonna lie. It sounded like a whole fucking mess, and it felt like it leaned too much into Twitch poll for me. But I digress.
Away from his ex-girlfriend Pinkichu for sexually assaulting and stalking her. He's also been forced to give up all of his guns. Before this all came out, he also had some really deep thoughts.
The more you are aware of what's going on in the world, the more that you are aware of these people that are lying,
Yeah.
the more that these people will try to discredit the people telling the truth. I mean, I
Dude.
want you to look at Nux Taku, for an example.
Now, I found out about Nux Taku around the time of his Shadman controversy, and because of some drama between Mutaha and someone called Shadlogic. It's a complicated story.
Nux Taku got his entire career temporarily destroyed, which he bounced back from because he's
Yeah, I did talk about Templar.
one of the
Templar does not like me. Templar really doesn't like me. Because on a K-Hux stream, I think I said it was inevitable based on this guy's own worldviews and morals. That he would rape someone. Because this guy believes that you can't get raped in marriage, basically, or marital rape, basically. So by process of elimination, if this guy ever gets married, she needs to be careful. She needs to be very careful, is all I'm saying.
votes. God bless you, Nux.
Yes, the post-Nux Clarity incident.
So this video that was uploaded with, again, Nux Taku as Jeffrey Epstein and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here.
Since then, Nux Taku has re-established himself as one of many populistic right-wing commentators, such as Tectone himself, who tried to orbit Asmongold.
It's really like, I mean, this part right here, right? And then there's this. And then there's a little bit of that, too.
I was apparently recently...
Who's worse, Asmongold's hairline or Hempy's? Like, which is first to go? Can we get like a side-by-side? Hold on. Can we get like a side-by-side comparison, actually? Hold on. I need to check this. Let's see. Do I have that saved? Hold on. I need our best people on this. Hold on. We need to analyze. Let's see. We analyze this. Where's the fucking picture, bro? Dude, I swear to God it wasn't that long ago. What the fuck did I just see? Why was Dick... Okay. I need this checked. Hold on. Hold on. Pro streamer. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Perfect. I should have this saved somewhere at this point. Let's do the side by side. It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. I'm sorry, Hempy. I'm so sorry. It's not looking good.
And then there's this. And then there's a little bit of that, too.
I was apparently recently hired as Asmongold's thumbnail editor.
Why wasn't Asmongold nominated at the Streamer Awards? And it's me holding up a fucking thing of I'm white, you're black, and I'm pointing a gun at somebody? Damn,
yeah?
Bro, like, that's what it was. This is a top tier thumbnail? I think it is. Honestly, like, we should have just used this one. Oh my god. Hire this guy? Yeah. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah?
Thumbnail editor? This is great. Yeah, why not?
Dude.
My response was not the most charismatic one.
Lol?
He never actually intended to hire me. That was merely a stunt he did for his livestream. Given his recent defending of Tectone, it was probably for the best. As a Forbes magazine featured
Wait, what was that?
commentator,
Ah,
I can't
fuck.
be associating with people like this.
Bro. Asmongold very briefly comments on Tectone. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Some shit happened. TLDR, I can't talk about this one specific thing because of my lawsuit, defamation lawsuit, but everything else is good to go. Interesting. Okay.
As a Forbes magazine featured
the fucking light mode.
commentator, I can't be associating with people like this. However, this video isn't about Asmongold or Tectone. It's about the rumors circulating Nux Taku.
So
The amount
why...
of misinformation put out on this guy is insane. I mean, dude, I get told that Nux is a pedophile daily. And I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always gonna have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, buddy.
But why would anyone say that Nux Taku after children? I have my own criticisms of the guy, but he's a very religious man.
We gotta stand up and fight for God. We were living in a world of like unbelievable hedonism that just kept ramping up higher and higher and higher, you know? Higher and higher, more and more hedonism and secularism, and it completely took over. And
Nux, didn't he try to ruin Tiger? From my understanding, the Tiger stuff isn't that clear cut. Apparently there's some other stuff that people are looking into. I'm waiting on, I think Fembro's looking into it. Gilla the Bloodspiller. I think... Where the fuck is this guy? Can I just drag him in here so he can lore dump for me? Hold on. Hold on. Let me just summon the gay boy. Hold on. I'll let it play.
this is an unbelievable conversation that's being had right now.
He speaks out against hedonism and degeneracy.
It's not surprising that people that are based purely on hedonism, that they think you could fuck everything that moves, they think that sex should be publicized and taught to little babies and children, teaching them to change their genders and shit like that.
He's against sex being taught to young children and little babies. He hasn't always been open about his religious beliefs, but he has a long history of criticizing the Twitch platform for making adult content available to minors.
Twitch can't decide whether they want to be a 13-plus gaming website or an 18-plus porn website. Twitch wants to rake in all that advertiser bucks for being a 13-plus gaming website. They want to be on every single freaking smart television in America because that's how they get so many of their little young impressionable viewers. They are trying to be a 13-plus gaming website as well as a porn site at the same exact fucking time. Just recently, you had the implied nudity meta on Twitch where they allowed artistic nudity, which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13-plus gaming website, by the way.
Making adult content available to children is totally inappropriate, and Nux Taku has known this for a while.
Right.
I ain't for kids under 18, let alone under 13.
Some insist that it is solely the parents' responsibility to stop their children from seeing that stuff. End of story. I think that's a very dumb perspective, so I'm going to back up Nux Taku on this one. Parents do have the primary responsibility to protect their children.
True.
But that responsibility isn't on them alone. If you're publishing content on a 13-plus website, the creators, the parents, and the platform have a shared responsibility to protect the children using that site from being exposed to harmful content. In the case of Twitch, the creators are knowingly streaming inappropriate content, and Twitch isn't cracking down on it. As Nux Taku clearly...
I mean, hell, we even had that thing, what was it? It was that, like, prime example, right? There was that story a while, not too long ago, right? Where there was that, like, furry diaper streamer that was, like, put onto, like, Twitch's, like, featured page. Insane. Insane.
Understands it is supposed to be a 13-plus platform. If you're allowing or uploading adult content onto that platform, you're clearly doing something wrong and should be held responsible if kids come across that content. Parents can easily block actual adult websites, and some even teach you how to do it. But when adult content is hidden on a 13-plus website, the parents might not even suspect it to be there. Take, for example, Mutahar's aunt.
Here's the fucking wildest thing about her, okay? So she has every fucking parental filter. If you walk into her house, it's like fucking North Korea. However, she hasn't done anything for YouTube. She hasn't looked at parental controls. So in her mind, she's like, I'm a good parent. I'm making sure they don't watch porn. And then their kids are watching like Andrew Tate and shit. So she's blocked this one possibly dangerous avenue of like, you know, psych infiltrating shit. But she hasn't locked the other one out.
Instead of telling his aunt to set up parental controls on YouTube, Mutahar decided to shit-talk her parenting on his massive podcast. Very normal.
Yeah, that is touched. Fucking hell. Because, yeah, again, the point is, right, a lot of the responsibility does fall onto the parents in terms of that stuff. But obviously, if you're running a site and you're saying that it's like 13 plus, you have a level of responsibility, quite a high level of responsibility, as the person running the platform or the site or the hosting network or whatever the fuck, right, to be able to moderate it. For example, there was a whole thing with like Roblox, right? Now, I don't play Roblox, right? But it doesn't stop me from knowing about the things like, what are they called? What do people call them? It's those games where it's like, it's got like a bunch of inbuilt like sex things in it and stuff like that. Condo games or something. Isn't that what they call them? And it basically allows these kids to like interact with like really sexual weird shit, right? And it led to like a lot of grooming predation, because a lot of the issues with it was with Roblox was that a lot of the stuff was like being directed away from Roblox and moving into Discord and stuff like that. But another aspect is that Roblox and stuff like that led to a lot of normalization, because that is the danger when it comes to this stuff. Is, well, one of the many dangers when it comes to having incorrectly moderated sites, right, for content that are meant to be accessed by kids, is that it ends up having a lot of normalization of specific content, what is acceptable, stuff like that, and kids will go ahead and interact with that, and it lets them it ends up for them to be more easily predated upon by other people, because the kids will then think that they're more mature than they actually are. They feel like, oh, I'm an adult now, or like, oh, I'm doing all this like quote unquote adult stuff that you shouldn't be doing as a kid. But despite the fact that their frontal lobe has yet to develop properly, very dangerous, very fucking dangerous.
Behavior.
I mean, hell, what was it? In terms of like another instinct, right? That I think will be the last point I break up on this. YouTube, right? We've had so many gate situations, I guess is the best way to describe it on YouTube. For those who are like not an actual fetus, you'll remember stuff like Elsagate. You remember all different versions of it. There was, I think, about like 3 different Elsagate stuff, where it was a lot of stuff that's meant to be, it looks like it's for kids. It's taking like kids characters like Elsa, hence the name, right? Or like superhero costumes, and it's a lot of like really weirdly sexually toned content, including stuff like weird fetishes as well, like inflation or pregnancy, needles, farting, like really weird gross stuff, and basically sexualizing something that would be normally something you would see that would be like for kids content, right? Which would be like, you know, adults dressing up in you know, superhero costumes or stuff like that, or like the adults acting like kids. I mean, hell, one of the most random examples that I can think of in terms of people who did that was the Bradbury brothers, and this is old YouTube. This is like old YouTube stuff. So like the Bradburys were like a prank channel. It was 2 brothers. It's like, if you guys remember like old internet, you'll remember, I say old internet, it's not technically old internet, but who fucking cares, right? This the one where they got like, I'm an Ethan Bradbury. And they ended up doing that stuff. It's really gross. It's really disgusting. Yeah. And then there was also a case of like, pedophiles like tagging or messaging each other on like young children. It's so disgusting. Young children like doing stuff or like just being on screen. And like they would use like code or something like that. And I believe from my understanding, that's what led down to like the whole like adpocalypse thing, because there's that one guy who like informed advertisers to basically boycott YouTubers from their advertisers. That guy got a lot of flack for it, but I think the idea that stuff was allowed on the platform was disgusting. And hell, I don't know what would have happened, or how long it would have gone on for, if he didn't like do the one thing that YouTube is scared of, and that is losing sponsors. But yeah, anyway.
So when adult content is on an adult website...
Now instead of Elsagate, we've got AI Cat Slopgate. Hasn't changed much. See, I thought for a second there, Nabi, that it was those like cool videos of like the cats doing magic, but I know exactly what you're on about. If you ever go on YouTube Shorts late at night and you see like AI cats, so fucking bizarre.
it's easily blocked. When it's on Twitch or YouTube, it can go unnoticed and in the worst cases, subvert those parental controls. That's why it's important for creators on these platforms to keep in mind that their content is going to be available to and be seen by children. As an example, you shouldn't have a hentai reviewer on your podcast and then shout them out by pitching their content as a method to circumvent parental controls.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check out our friend Hartweigen, friend of the show, absolutely amazing creator. If you're into hentai and you want to, and you got parental filters all over your web browser, this is the channel for you because YouTube is not blocked by parental filters. So wink.
What? What the fuck? Actively encouraging kids to watch this stuff to circumvent a parental lock? Dude. This... I don't even know what to call this. This is just like a higher level of dangerous, like a dangerous moron. That is just... insane. I'm gonna press play because I don't want this on my screen too long.
Before you run off calling Mutahar some early porn introduction mogul, this is just a single, irresponsible, one-off comment from years ago.
Okay.
It was a dumb thing to say, but there is no broad pattern of Mutahar engaging in this behavior.
Yeah, I still think that's just an insane thing to do. It's still insane. I don't think Nikandros is disagreeing with that. Absolutely insane, chat. Insane. And by the way, there are 38 of you watching the stream right now. What are you doing? Like, subscribe if you haven't already, okay? If you want to, you can leave a little donation, okay? It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But yeah, we're gonna keep going.
To return to Nux's critique of Twitch, another problem with adult content being on a 13+ website is its potential to funnel children to adult websites and services.
Every single freaking ASMR streamer on Twitch is linking their OnlyFans because ultimately Twitch is a massive funnel to that stuff, and Twitch knows that. Most of Twitch these days is a literal funnel to OnlyFans. Remember, this is a 13+ gaming website where
I will also want to point out, right? I want you guys in chat. Right, whilst I play this, I want you to guess the age requirement to make a Twitter account. I'm just gonna ask you guys to do that and leave it in the chat.
90% of just chatting streams are boobs, funneling people to the OnlyFans of the streamers, because it's not like there's any discoverability on OnlyFans. And the recommended page and every thumbnail on the just chatting category would be banned on YouTube. Bro, do you see what's going on your website, bro? This shit would be banned on YouTube immediately.
I'm not too sure about that last bit, but if a creator's content is directing children to adult websites, making it more available and accessible to them, they are more likely to not only seek out that content, but also far more extreme content than they otherwise would have. Nux Taku, on the other hand, has been criticizing Twitch for allowing this content since the creation of the hot tubs category.
The new Twitch meta, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't need to see it for in her browser history. If you look up PONR, her stream is
And by the way, yes, you are right in the chat. It's 13 years old. Apparently sensitive material is blocked if you're 13 or under. The fact it's 13 is insane. Or 13, right? Or 13, you know, between 13 and 18, sorry, is what I should say. Or 13 and 17. I find that insane. Genuinely. Absolutely insane. Social media like that is so fucking dangerous. Like, I'm gonna sound like one of those people, right? I am genuinely so glad, despite like when I grew up in terms of like my developmental ages, that I had been limited to how much social media and stuff like that I had access to. Because, fuck me, man. Like, you see like kids, like iPad kids now? I think if you just give your kid an iPad and just decide to give them decide to give them that as a form of like avoiding parenting because you're busy, I think that's insanely dangerous. Because what that ends up doing, and like again, I'm no like expert on this, but again, it's proven, the kid will end up developing a attachment to that device. not too dissimilar to how a kid may develop an attachment to like their favorite toy, their blanket, and stuff like that. And they will develop a addiction to it, or an obsession with said thing, alongside the fact that being on like a device or something like that can be addicting. As an adult, adults have had that anyway. To have that like onset thing as a child, I think is insanely dangerous. Insanely dangerous. Because of one, the kind of content they could access if you're an irresponsible parent, and what kind of like things it sets for a kid. I genuinely think that if you are a child, I would say maybe, if I'm being like the low end of safe, being 16 or higher is when you should be allowed to access a smartphone. Anything lower, and I think the biggest amount of technology you should be able to have in terms of like a mobile device that's not like a computer, should be a flip phone, unironically. That is what I grew up with as a kid, and I am genuinely so glad that that's what I had. Genuinely. Because the stuff can be incredibly addicting. And you hear all about like pipelines and stuff like that, and it's incredibly common. I mean, the one that we get nowadays in the modern age is stuff like the Andrew Tate pipelines or the right-wing pipelines, all kinds of different political pipelines and all this stuff that like teaches you these horrible, horrible morals about like sexism and racism and stuff like that. And creating like an us versus them mentality inside of children, which is insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, that's enough of me being like a concerned adult to kids anyway.
Video and art, bruh.
It's just so noisy.
Bruh. It's unbelievable that this content is allowed.
In February 2021, he released a whole song about it.
I made a music video parody of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. When the Twitch hot tub meta was going on, all the top streamers were female streamers in hot tubs wearing nothing. And I made a music video parody, Twitch is Hentai. Twitch is Hentai. Twitch thoughts giving teens bloody no sleep.
Damn, a great message and a banger tune. There is just
Dude.
one big problem I have with Nux's critique here. He left out the most dangerous element of this kind of content. Any child can see bikini ladies on the beach or at the pool, but they're not going to see bikini ladies doing erotic dances while surrounded by adult strangers who are touching themselves while chatting with them. They are also not going to receive private messages or invitations to join a private group chat where a much older person showers them with attention and makes them feel special.
Yes.
Creators don't just put out content, they have a community, whether it's in their comments or on other platforms. If the creator's content is explicit in nature, then so will their community. If children are allowed into these spaces, the creator is facilitating a space where adults and minors are talking about explicit matters with each other. Even if there are no predators in those spaces, if minors are allowed access, they are still being normalized to the idea that it's okay for them to be talking about these things with random adults.
Dude, Nikandros just entirely read my fucking mind. That's exactly the point I was getting on earlier. Fucking hell.
Them much more vulnerable. Nux Taku has actually made videos in the past catfishing predators on Discord, but his activism doesn't end there. In 2021, he tried to trick Shadman, the infamous lolicon artist, into a confrontation to grill them for drawing Lolly Beast comics.
Okay.
Want a collab? Lamal, no, but your heart's in the right place. Wait,
What?
why would Shadman say that?
What?
Anyway, these statements and instances where Nux Taku actually mocked message.
Dude. I think it's so over if someone like Shadman says that to you. It's like fucking Dexter Morgan, right? And he recognizes his like someone else has a dark passenger. Fucked up, man. Fucked up. God. Wait, what's this? Also, with AI right now, kids should not have access to phones till 16 at least. I've seen people grow actual attachments to shit like ChatGPT. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you unironically have seen things of a guy, for example, committing suicide because, or being, like, shunned away from his social circles because his AI girlfriend told him to do so, and isolating him from them. Which is insane. Because you no longer have an aspect of, like, a digital device or product becoming an obsession over time, right? You now have the device itself blatantly to your face saying, you don't need real people. It's so dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous, man. Genuinely. Because you got to keep in mind, right? Some of these people can just program these things to have, like, specific characteristics or do certain things. It's insane. It's genuinely insane to me. Go outside, touch grass in the most literal, like, non-joking sense. Because at this point, the whole, like, touching grass thing as a joke, it's less so a joke, and it's literally a matter of, like, I'm being hyperbolic about it, right? But it is, to boil it down, right, a matter of kids' safety. Of them needing to go outside and not interacting with these very fucking dangerous pieces of experimental technology, mind you, that have caused the people to commit suicide due to it. It's insane. Also, yes, Clover, I did see that Riley Alina's original social repose video is back up. Yes, I did see that, because it went, when I ended my stream last time when I went over it, it had gone up during my live stream, and I didn't know until someone told me after my live, or I didn't see the message that someone sent me until after my live stream ended. But yeah.
He received from Shadman have been misconstrued by bad faith actors to claim that Nux Taku had some connection with Shadman or a desire to work with him. I mean, look at the timeline. We're supposed to believe that 3 days after catfishing predators, Nux Taku was trying to get on Shadman's good side. It is such
someone married
nonsense.
I mean, someone married the Berlin Wall and a Twilight Sparkle plushie, so that's not new, but there's a worse level to AI with feigned cognizance compared to imposing feelings on something inanimate. Exactly. I would much rather people do, like, be on the learning channel wanting to date a roller coaster than talking to an AI chatbot and getting an infatuation with something that can feign sentience to you and can impose you to do things that could, like, affect someone who is mentally vulnerable. Because a lot of the times these people who use these chatbots for comfort, it is because there is some sort of, like, need for a social or emotional need needing to be filled due to, and which would most likely be elevated by things like depression, anxiety, social disorders, stuff like that. People very low in their lives. And again, again, you can do what you want in your own time. I don't give a shit. But think. You need to be able to think and be, like, cognizant of the fact that this isn't a real person. If this thing tells you to jump off a bridge, you don't do it. But yeah.
This whole controversy was just an offshoot of the early Mr. Beast drama, when Ava Chris Tyson's fandom of Shadman was exposed. Yeah. Nux Taku was among the people calling her out on it, but also for running a Discord server where NSFW content was available to minors.
Wasn't that the whole, what was it? It had a weird name. It didn't get linked. It linked to Finster, right? Or Finster was someone who grew up inside of this server, right? Am I getting that lore wrong? Someone please correct me.
Despite his consistent, long-term opposition to children being exposed to adult content, and criticism of multiple creators who have blurred the line between adults and children, Nux Taku continues to be smeared as some kind of pedophile because of his old videos.
My videos were showing people weird shit that came out of Japan to get funny reactions, and I to this day do not think that they were harmful videos. I don't.
It really isn't necessary, but let's take a look at one of those examples. If we go to May of 2021, a couple months after releasing the song about Twitch, and a few months before the Shadman collab request, he released this video.
Okay.
It's about Nux Taku reviewing the old comics made by the author of the Nagatoro manga. It's a romantic comedy about the titular Nagatoro, a high school junior. I know a little trick for looking up the old thumbnails of videos on the Internet Archive. And the thumbnail of this video used to look like this. Nagatoro taking off her panties.
What?
This isn't the second version. This is the third version. Here is the second version.
What the
Nagatoro
fuck?
completely naked. And there's some kind of a chimpanzee behind her.
What?
But she's sitting here in the forest, and all of a sudden, monkey comes out and starts.
That's a lot of monkey hands.
That's
Jesus
monkey
Christ.
God damn it. And then they proceed to. Okay, anyway. She ends up having an epiphany that in order to survive, she must drink fluids. So she proceeds to drink
yeah.
Oh yeah, no. That's why she's like, go as much as you want because
you can dish out there. Okay.
Yeah, she needs to drink it to survive. This is survival instincts. Boom. They were in fact not in the forest. She was in fact with the monkeys in a zoo in front of a whole bunch of people. People? No, an audience? Is this a zoo? They saw all of it? The mating act? This is so crazy. This is the worst image in the history of
why would the monkey bring it up? That's so weird.
So she pushes the shock collar that she happens to be wearing.
Oh, they put her on a shock? What the fuck?
To force her to do the friendship show.
So she's a slave.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And then she has to dance like monkey.
Nux Taku is displaying a comic to his audience about a little girl being raped by a pack of monkeys in a zoo exhibit before a crowd of children. The censorship is at times very lacking. There's lots of fluids and even monkey cocks visible on screen. Not only did Nux Taku show
That's just disgusting. Dude. I'm gonna keep it playing.
That he's displaying multiple adult websites and shows the names of all the comics, making it easy for the audience members to look them up for themselves.
Lolicon, oh, it hurts so bad.
What? It's got 69.
There's 69,000 Lolicon manga.
69,000, no big deal, right?
Popular.
This is far worse than anything I've seen on Twitch. How is this sponsored by Raycon? Wasn't Nux Taku supposed to confront Shadman for this stuff?
Sponsored by Raycon? That's crazy. Okay.
I thought he was against hedonism and degeneracy. The video was also not age restricted, meaning that he made it visible to his own crowd of children. And the comment section had many children on it. Some of them were asking for Nux Taku to reduce the censorship, and others were asking for the source of these adult comics.
If it turns out this guy does Patreon-only videos, I'm gonna actually scream.
When I say children, I'm not just making a blind guess. Many of these children had videos of themselves on their channel. So while Nux Taku was railing against Twitch for letting children see bikini ladies, he was uploading content like this, with thumbnails like this, to a 13+ website.
Which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13+ gaming website.
I hope Nikandros doesn't get fucking nuked by YouTube because of this, because fuck me. That's just disgusting. Bro. I don't even know how you defend that, or go about, like, even addressing that, from Nux Taku's perspective here. He's done. He's done. He's so fucking done. And there's still, like, an hour left. Fuck me.
And nowadays, he presents himself as this fighter for God, and this opponent of degeneracy and hedonism. This video isn't publicly available anymore, because I tweeted a link to it around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. It used to embed on the tweet, but now it no longer does, because within 30 minutes of me tweeting it, the video was set to private. There was no apology or explanation, only an attempt to hide evidence of one's past, which in itself became evidence of a guilty mind. I have never seen anyone post the kind of content Nux Taku did on a regular basis and not get banned. Not only hasn't he been banned, until recently, he was hanging out with massive, well-respected creators. he might be one of the most underlooked and worst cases of such a high
Don't compare Nikandros to Mama Max Hidden, that's fucked up.
Profile creator, profiting from exposing children to adult content, directing them to adult websites, and running their communities with a total disregard for child safety. Nowadays he pretends that none of this ever happened. He downplays it, lies about it, and deletes evidence of it. Let's start from the beginning. Nux Taku started out as an anime YouTuber in 2015. He grew slowly and steadily, but in late 2019, everything changed. Jeffrey Epstein died in prison.
Okay, dude.
Excuse me, 2 weeks after that.
I also made a video on YouTube that has since been removed, the biggest flexes in hentai. And the degeneracy began from there.
In the video, Nux Taku reviews and recommends 10 hentai animations, 7 of which were categorized as lolly, meaning they contained underage characters.
And this bad boy, very not chill stepfather, has a very not chill relationship with stepdaughter. Again, most people would think this is weird, but hentai clearly knows better.
He was already showing adult content to a 13+ audience, and giving them advice on how to find adult content online.
The reason why I bring it up here is because without putting text on the screen is nearly impossible to remember. Therefore, since the plot, and it's a goddamn plot, deep thematic and philosophical undertones here, I believe anyone who wanted to search this bad boy up—
Keep in mind, right, every single time there's a hexagonal sensor, that's Nikandros is doing. That's not Nux doing it.
without said title, because I was a douche for not putting it on screen, would just simply look up time stop hentai. Far easier than... Very understandable. A lot of y'all sent me screenshots on Twitter, link to my Twitter in the description, of the top recommended searches on the hub of prawn. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, WTF fanbase, one of the top hits is Time Stop Hentai. And it stayed like that for 3 goddamn days immediately after me uploading my biggest flexes in hentai video. Now that is the biggest flex in hentai.
At the time, these videos earned him a massive amount of attention. The first video got 500,000 views, and its many sequels were even more successful, with the whole series garnering a total of 5 million views.
1.5, bro.
By an adult game platform. Because these videos were far more TOS risky than his usual content, Nux Taku would soon delete them.
Oh fuck, there goes my mic.
Moderation consequences.
The greatest plots in hentai too.
Shit, yes. My microphone just keeps dying. Hold on.
After uploading for the sake of my channel's survival, but a promise is a promise. So yippee, here we go. 50,000 likes and the greatest plots in hentai 3 will be out eventually.
So he would intentionally just circumvent YouTube systems by deleting the video shortly after. Dude, what the fuck? Shut up!
In reality, he didn't actually delete them. He set them to private, and at a later date, he set them to unlisted, meaning that anyone with a link could see them. I actually managed to find these videos quite some time ago. I archived them, and Nux Taku can tell you the rest. Only one of them remains unlisted. Go check it out. If it has gone private, it confirms that Nux Taku knows about this video. After the success of this hentai video series, it soon became the core focus of Nux's content for years to come. By December 2019, he reached 1 million subscribers. In 2020, he was collaborating with some of the biggest creators on the platform and filming their reactions to adult animations
no, not critical,
often involving characters of a questionable age.
There is an asshole door, so it's a woman with her ass out, and this one's like an anal key. And Ash Ketchum is well, at least a young Ash Ketchum seems to be
Stop killing my mic. I'm sorry, okay. It was like angled at a weird angle, so if I accidentally like hit the cable, like it just entirely eats shit. I'm sorry.
It,
no.
And he uses what's called the fist dash, it seems, to gain entry.
Oh, wow. Is this made for you?
Is this Umberville? Bro.
So now he sprayed her with the spray of doom.
Oh no. She's quivering.
Oh my god!
Bro.
I didn't experience that, no.
I'm gonna speed this up. This is just fucking uncomfortable.
Actually appeared in Nux Taku's videos surprisingly frequently. He used to be a part of something Nux Taku called the Hentai Gang, and they would react to various hentai clips together.
Oh god, this is good stuff. We got full color, snuff, guro, torture, amputee, all the wholesome.
What?
Sounds good, let me see that shit.
Nux Taku also deployed a very aggressive clickbait strategy. Showing some bikini ladies wasn't enough. He needed cropped hentai, bestiality, and lolly. Despite having displayed this content in his videos and thumbnails for years, Nux Taku has consistently denied being into it, but he also claims he doesn't believe enjoying it makes you a pedophile.
There are 3 levels here, okay? There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki, or Megumin from Konosuba, or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
Nux Taku would begin to signal anti-lolicon sentiments in
That's the gray zone. The gray zone? As he's using it in thumbnails, by the way. Brother. Ace, I'm gonna kill you.
2022, causing drama between him
in
and
Minecraft.
They couldn't believe the guy who has used lolly-related content in his thumbnails, videos, and the same guy who has openly befriended lolicons, followed and praised lolicons on Twitter, could be making such a statement under glaring hypocrisy.
I don't like Rev, but they are making a sound point.
Have you seen your thumbnail? This thumbnail, lolly likers are pedos. This is in quotes, like it's something I actually said.
It's a pretty reasonable inference of your position based on the content of your tweet.
I did not say this. I didn't even say this a little. Not even a little. And this dude's like, oh, dude, we're gonna make this thumbnail. So, dude, when it comes to thumbnails, you can be quiet.
Instead of engaging, Nux Taku acts incredulous that how could someone possibly be saying this?
Then he goes on this whole rant. He's like, dude, you should have your legs broken in because you like lollies. See, you have Gura in the thumbnail. Like, dude, what is going on? What is going on? So, constantly taking me out of context, constantly making me look like a hypocrite for things that I've never been a hypocrite about.
Nux's response to Rev was set to private around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident.
Interesting.
Despite his history, in early 2024, Nux Taku had no problem calling Vosh a pedophile for flashing his lolly horse folder on stream for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, he had his own horse folder on his public YouTube channel. He also forgot to censor the contents of Vosh's folder in his coverage. Old habits die hard, I guess.
I am the one that gets canceled daily for being a gooner on Twitter, by the way. And I have never saved a porn image.
One of the more shocking images in Vosh's folder depicted a lolicon VTuber that Nux had reacted to.
16 is high school. No! Wait, high schoolers aren't lollies. I agree. Lollies are 1,000-year-old cum vampires. I agree. Yeah, great intro. Everyone, hey everyone, meet Natsuito Matsuri, extremely wholesome VTuber. Also, she likes talking about lollies. Nothing weird here at all. Oh god, this rabbit hole goes deep.
She just said she's in the 10 to 12-year-olds, and Nux does not push back in any serious manner. He then proceeds to react to her content for 20 more minutes.
That was a great video, damn!
Nux clearly had no problem with lolly content, and he was happy to pander to lolicons for years. To return to Nux Taku's thumbnails, I've seen comments under some videos mention him changing them, but that early version has not been captured on the Wayback Machine. In the case of this thumbnail, there are low-resolution captures of the early versions, which depict a woman indulging in self-exploration, censored only by this incrementally growing emoji. Whenever these old thumbnails arouse controversy, Nux Taku goes to quietly censor them. He was clearly maximizing the amount of adult content he could show without getting in trouble with YouTube, and he would use various tricks to dodge demonetizations and age restrictions.
The word Shota is blacklisted on YouTube big time. When I made my video talking about the Shota thing, Shota trending on Twitter, I spelled it with a U, and it gets past the censors. I took out the U, instantly demonetized. Added in the U, turns green again. Dude, I'm telling you, YouTube is run by idiots. Evil idiots, but idiots nonetheless.
He would use
So he intentionally just circumvents every single system on YouTube just so he can post his most degenerate shit on the platform? Dude. Fuck me.
special characters in titles and euphemistically refer to adult content as being cultured or wholesome. If a parent saw a title like, I showed cultured clips to normie YouTubers in their child's browser history, it would hardly stand out as a hentai reaction video. Many of these videos originally had far more explicit titles, but Nux Taku has gone back to censor them later. There are also many videos that are no longer available. Nux Taku wasn't only exposing his audience to adult content, he was directing them to it. Leaving the titles of these adult animations visible on screen was not an oversight or an accident.
I love how people ask me for the sauce. I have the title in the screen, people. That's why I don't make them full screen, so you can always find the sauce.
The source, or the source, being the origin of the adult content. Whenever he showed porn in his videos or thumbnails, the comments were full of requests for the source. Some would name the artist or name the individual work. Others would even post direct links, most of which have been automatically deleted. Some of them still remain, linking to an image tagged with lolly and imminent rape, because Nux Taku used it in his thumbnail. Nux Taku would sometimes pin these source posts, encouraging these ecosystems of porn sharing in his comments. He's actually acknowledged this phenomenon in his videos.
Half my comment section in the previous episode of the Hentai Gang was all about, where can I find this door one?
Alright, so...
It really isn't hard to find.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah, it's super easy to find if you
Dude.
just like
Very cool, Charlie.
comes up almost
Charlie,
immediately. I
stop.
didn't remember the name during the episode.
Charlie,
All I
stop,
typed
please.
in, found it in almost instantly.
Thanks for the
Charlie,
instructions on
stop.
how to find that hentai comic online. As you can see, talking about, exhibiting, and directing people to adult media was a core part of Nux's content, and the community around it. Now, YouTube is again a 13+ website, just like Twitch. So, Nux Taku was making this content available to minors. But did it appeal to them? You've seen enough of his presentation to know that his audience was hardly above the age of 18.
Dude, I really wish I checked this video before I decided to stream it. This is just depressing. Fucking hell. This guy is an absolute fucking scumbag. Just always just targeting his content to kids, by the way. or sorry, allowing his content to be accessed by kids and directing them to fucking disgusting and degenerate shit. Not just like, not even like, it would be disgusting enough, right, if it was just like the porn links, basically. That's still fucking morally, like, disgusting, right? But he decided to add the additional disgusting factor of it being like stuff like underage characters. Killing myself in Minecraft.
Putting on this kind of PewDiePie voice, you're not looking for an adult audience. Given his previous focus on anime, Nux Taku's audience would already trend towards being pretty young, but it wasn't young enough. He would imitate the thumbnail style of channels like Game Theory, which is very popular with children, and make lots of other content trying to attract MatPat's attention. He eventually succeeded and collaborated with not just MatPat, but also PewDiePie and Markiplier. Except he didn't. These are just misleading clickbait thumbnails.
Okay.
However, if you were a fan of one of these massive channels with very young audiences, and you were tricked into clicking on one of these videos, your recommendations would fill up with stuff like this. This combo of factors that would drive this content to a young audience would not be complete without Nux Taku's favorite rule, that being Rule 34.
And if you're not familiar with the term Rule 34, it's a term and website talking about how if anything exists, there is porn of it.
Nux Taku being obsessed with it is a meme by itself. He was making videos about Pokemon, anime, and other children's IPs while using Rule 34 of them as clickbait, or as the subject of the entire video. The most popular video on his second channel was a reaction to a viral Animal Crossing adult animation with very minimal censorship. There are small blurs around the genital areas, but you could still make out what's going on. What implication? And what's funny about it? When this animation came out, it became a viral meme, and a bunch of kids on TikTok were, as Nux Taku says, doing the things, or doing the dance. In other words, publishing media of themselves for anyone in the world to see, in which they are replicating moves from an adult animation they had been exposed to. Very understandably, some people considered this to be a risk to those children's safety.
Yes.
This is currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend right now called devious licks, where people break into schools or are in schools and steal stuff.
Shut the fuck up, dude. That's just... It's like the whole thing of just like, there are, like, what was it? There's like children starving in Africa when talking about a topic to try and distract from it. It's still an issue. Actually, there are people dying in the streets. This isn't actually as bad as that. It's still a problem. It's still a fucking problem. What are you talking about? What are you actually talking about?
Like hand sanitizer and fire alarms and toilet seats. They just rip them off the toilets. That is a trend on TikTok right now.
Yeah, false equivalence, yeah.
Disturbing trend on TikTok. Alright, dude.
What's worse? Children being at risk of being exploited, or children stealing toilet seats?
More and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's got people concerned. Basically, a lot of people are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular, and kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. Alright, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough, and I don't understand the ecosystem.
No one's afraid of that? Saying it's fine, by the way? He may not be, like, directly saying, go kids, do this fucking disgusting shit, right? But the sheer fact that his audience seems to be primarily children, or it seems to be targeted towards kids, that's just an extremely reckless, and dangerous message to be putting out there. That's saying that this stuff isn't a problem? What the fuck are you talking about?
But I don't think that people are afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance, okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok for freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this dance is gonna push anyone over the...
I can't stand how this guy... I can't stand the sound of this guy's voice. True. You know for a fact, right? He's got, like, grease all over his body 24/7. Hasn't showered in about 50 years. Has the most matted hair known to man. Ingrown hair. Disgusting little creature. Something you'd seen out in a dark alleyway, right? He'd have a white van that says, come on little kids, get right in. I've got free candy. He is probably built like the child snatcher from Chi Chi Bang Bang. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Ugh. Fuck. Almost sneezed. That would have been a good sneeze as well. Fuck. This is what this guy looks like. This is the Nux Taku face reveal, by the way. This is exactly the kind of guy I imagine is behind this camera. Fucking scumbag. Okay, keep it going.
but that's just me.
A child that is publicly self-reporting as having been exposed to adult content is absolutely more likely to be targeted. It means that their internet access is unrestricted and likely unsupervised. They're an easy target.
So if you happen to see any kids on your For You page doing this dance, please nicely encourage them to stop.
Nicely encourage them to stop is just sending hate mobs in nicer words.
This guy could be a total breaker in his own right, but nothing about what he's saying here should be controversial. It's basic common sense.
Wait, when did he say this? Like, it matters very much, but I'm very curious to know when he was saying all this shit. I may have just missed it.
Internet child safety, but Nux Taku takes it as some existential threat, which
I'm a little late. Is Nux a nonce? As close as you can get so far, just from this. Very much the normalization of sexual content towards kids. Basically encouraging them to look at, like, and directing them and giving a lot of them a much easier time finding absolutely disgusting, degenerate, like, pornography, hentai, whatever that degen shit, right? And also, like, illegal stuff as well, alongside that. Insane.
When you think about what he's doing for 2 seconds, he's regularly uploading.
At one point, my brother told me about how he was seeing a nude woman on his FYP because TikTok moderation fucked up. I remember that. I think it was during lockdown? Or was it just before that? I think it was also Instagram had that issue as well, where the moderation just entirely turned off and it was... every other post was just porn. Jesus.
Content sexualizing children's cartoon characters onto a 13+ platform. Characters designed to appeal to children and more likely to be recommended to children. If you look at this video's comments, you see dozens of children explicitly reporting their ages, many of them being under 13. These are not adults pretending to be children as a joke. I've seen what's on their channels. They are uploading videos of themselves onto their channels and then leaving public comments under Nux Taku's videos for anyone in the world to see. There are thousands of comments like this scattered all over Nux Taku's backlog, some new, some old, but many of them are from children who are still minors. Nux Taku obviously doesn't directly control who watches his videos or what they upload onto their channels, but he was choosing to upload this content onto a 13+ platform where it was available to children. If you make content about sex and porn available to children, you're going to receive comments about sex and porn from children. If you look at the audience retention graph, you can see that barely anyone is watching this video for Nux Taku's commentary. All of the attention is hyper-focused on the segment, where the adult animation is shown. Who do you think is watching it over and over again? Any adult could just go and watch the uncensored animation elsewhere. However, to the children who cannot access adult websites, this is the most easily available and the least censored version of the animation that they can find. Here is a comment from a child saying that they can't access the uncensored animation because of parental controls. This child's parents did not want them to be exposed to this kind of media, but Nux Taku's content enabled it to happen anyway. Nux Taku knows that YouTube doesn't want that content on its platform, and he was actively reverse engineering the site's moderation in order to continue uploading this content without being age-restricted. He was so successful at it that even if you enable restricted mode and the parental control filters, videos like this would still be visible on his channel. With the same video, where Nux Taku was shitting on this guy for caring too much about child safety, he was contributing to and profiting from all of the issues that the guy was raising awareness of.
Alright, Mr. Noah, I don't know you, and you seem like a decent man. John 3:16, my man. He's a man of the people. This dude, this absolute legend. I didn't even notice that before. Don't quote Bible verses in your bio, dude. What? John 3:16 is, "For God so loved the world that he gave his own forgotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Alright, gamers. Yeah, alright. If I see that in his bio, I'm gonna... Alright.
Then there was the error that people were posting Twitter links on TikTok comments to cartel gore straight up... Yeah. I cannot listen to the funky song Funky Town anymore because of it. Yeah, I thankfully didn't get that. But I remember it was another thing with Instagram as well, where there was just straight up, like, live leak stuff. Because the moderation entirely broke. And there was just, like, torture shit, basically, on the platform. For, like, a good day and a bit. But yeah.
Fighting for COD was not the moneymaker for Nux Taku at the time. The real moneymaker was running Rule 34 tournaments and networking with massive creators.
What I did today is I gathered 8 YouTubers, put them in a tournament bracket format, and had them battle it out, where they each select different fictional characters, and based on the amount of entries they have on Rule 34, they are stronger choices.
Not only are these videos just flagrant celebrations of degeneracy and hedonism.
You know what makes me really uncomfortable about this? Is the fact that we know that Nux is making this video while having a massive erection.
Yes! I mean, no.
They are entirely based around the promotion of an explicit adult website full of adult content of children's characters. The website appreciated the attention and promoted Nux Taku's videos in exchange.
My last video that, like, I used Rule 34, they actually posted my video on the homepage of the website, so in their honor, you know.
If you want to do these competitions with your adult friends, that's totally fine. What isn't fine is uploading these competitions onto a 13+ platform, in which you're promoting an adult website full of thousands of images sexualizing children's cartoon characters. Because of its animated nature, hentai is already much less intimidating to children than photographic adult content. If you're also using characters that are designed to appeal to children, are already familiar to children, and are attached to brands that the algorithm will push to children, you are basically maximizing
a lot of popular
to
content creators collaborate with Nux is what I'm seeing
I have
here.
already shown that this was undeniably a function of Nux's content, but I can't say that it was his intent. However, I can demonstrate that it was absolutely undeniable that Nux Taku knew that children were watching his content. The descriptions of his videos used to explicitly label them as PG-13. This disclaimer can even be found on the Monkey Comic video. That is an explicit admission that Nux Taku was fine with 13-year-olds seeing this stuff, but we can do better. Months before the Monkey Comic video and the Animal Crossing video, Nux Taku saw one of his child fans with his own eyes. On October 31st of 2020, he requested his audience to email him the most cursed NSFW videos or memes for a chance to win $1,000. No limit on how horrible it is. Despite requesting NSFW content, the announcement does not list a minimum age, so Nux Taku was giving a financial incentive to minors to find the worst NSFW content they could. After a day, he'd already received thousands of submissions. He would review these submissions a month later in a video with Oompaville and Ironmouse.
I've never
Fucking
even
Iron
pondered
Mouse.
the thought that we
Fucking
could have
hell.
Molly and Guro and bondage all in one thing. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Among those submissions was a video that one of Nux Taku's child fans had recorded of themselves.
What?
Bro.
I don't even know what that was.
Some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
It
What
would be
the
really funny
fuck?
to provide the full context.
Oh, what? bro.
If you're scared of getting sued,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
wait, what the fuck?
But I'll do so anyway. It's not CSAM. It's some little boy farting into their phone camera. Then they shoot at their dog with a Nerf gun. There's no nudity, and you can't even see their face. However, they are clearly a child, and based on the size of their hand, a very young one at that. There's also no sign of Nux Taku getting parental consent to publish this video. So he's published a video of someone's child without consent, and mixed it in with a bunch of reactions to lolly bondage Guro comments.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This competition was not a one-time thing. It was a whole series, and the total number of emails they received in the end was around 10,000. Whether he intends it or not, by showing this video, Nux Taku is signaling to the children in his audience that they are welcome to participate. In the rest of the series, Nux Taku shows lots of adult websites and links to them fully uncensored. Not only that, there are many...
Again, it seems to be a lot of the claims here is a lot of normalization of specific actions and content so far, which is fucking morally disgusting. And there's like, I genuinely am curious because I have like a clip. I think I have a clip here of Nux responding, at least partly. I think there's two clips here that I've got, but we'll wait till we watch the end of this video for it. Cause fuck me, man, this is just fucking disgusting. Genuinely.
Instances in these videos where Nux Taku fails to hide the names of the people sending these emails. So he has solicited children to send him porn, and now he's doxing them to his audience. But that's besides the point here. Nux Taku absolutely knew that children were not only watching, but engaging with his content and his community. Did that cause him to reconsider his content decisions? No. A couple months later, he released a Twitch song, then the Monkey Comic video, and then the Animal Crossing video. Not only did he not change, he began criticizing Twitch for exposing minors to adult content, despite exposing minors to far worse things. So there's a rough outline of the mass child mind poisoning machine that Nux Taku operated, and made a ton of money from. We have already seen...
I mean, you could argue that Nux is engaging with his platform in a predatory manner because he specifically targets children to exploit them for content and views. So, yeah, at least what we've seen so far with that video specifically, he's also doxed the emails of children, encouraged them to basically be like, yes, you can be involved in the content via showing that one clip we saw or were taught about. So, yeah. Bro.
In some of the community interactions in the comments of his videos. But that's only scratching the surface. Let's go back to 2019.
So, the announcement portion of this video is as follows. My favorite of PewDiePie's videos are his Luai videos, where he gets to see how his community memes around his own content. I personally love that style video. How the community itself can come together, because it's not just the YouTuber or the YouTuber's content that's enjoyable, but it's the idea of this little community forming. So, I am creating a Nux Taku subreddit, which will not be called Nux Taku because someone already made r/.
In another effort to imitate PewDiePie, in 2019, Nux Taku founded his own subreddit, r/Nux Taku submissions. Nowadays, it's a hentai dumping ground, but back then, it was full of memes about anime and children's cartoons.
Hey, stop touching weird places. Don't worry about it. It's flat anyway. Destruction 100. Ho ho ho. Huge roast there. That's like the ultimate hentai logic as well.
But this is Nux Taku we're talking about. So there were also posts about hentai. For several years, the Reddit had no moderation other than Nux Taku. And on one occasion in 2020, the Reddit was spammed full of hentai.
There were thousands, nay, tens of thousands of posts of Sakura hentai.
The Reddit was also not marked as 18+, and there was no minimum age listed in the rules.
Forgive
Jesus.
me, Lord, but I did it. Please forgive me. Stop sending Gentai. Why? I already lost. No, not November. Half of my class saw Aquad's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
The OP of this post was 12 years old.
To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
They are literally talking about a class in that post. There is no reason not to assume they might be a minor. And had Nux Taku checked their profile when the screenshot was taken, he would have seen this comment. This child was not a one-time poster. Between October 2019 and August 2020, they made 160 posts to the Reddit. Many of them appear in Nux Taku's videos, sometimes back-to-back. So Nux Taku was profiting from their presence on the Reddit, and the attention he gave to their posts will encourage them to continue engaging with his community. Some of their posts on the Reddit mention depression, some include hentai, and sometimes they would be sharing and requesting the source. In one of their
It is unironically the encouragement of this kid engaging with this type of material because it's giving them a feeling of being seen by someone who's a much larger or has a, you know, a social media presence. As much as you want to, like, say whatever you want about this guy, right? This guy's fucking disgusting, but, like, pseudo micro celebrity type of thing, right? At least from a kid's perspective, that's how they would see Nux. And it's just going to cause them to keep doing it again and again and again. From such like a young age. Can create serious developmental problems. Serious developmental problems. By exposing them and normalizing this type of behavior. Horrifically dangerous.
Post, they mention having gotten into weird kinky shit. In the comments of that post, they shared a story about having been molested. Quick reminder, Nux Taku made money from allowing this person to be present in his community. They had multiple very highly upvoted posts that made it into Nux's videos, and he would sometimes share multiple of them back to back in the same video. The only reason I'm comfortable drawing attention to this user is because the account has been abandoned for years. As far as I know, it was never banned. After going through all of their comments and posts, I was unable to find any connections to other social medias, so they should be anonymous. This was also not the only child present in the community. By doing a couple searches, you can find many others openly stating their age. Content creators exploiting the volunteer labor of their audience for content is nothing new, but those spaces have teams of moderators to keep the content age appropriate. When you have a community that includes minors, you would ideally be proactive and lean on the side of caution. As we can see from this announcement on Nux Taku's Discord from January 2022, moderation-wise, the Reddit was totally unattended for years. It doesn't matter whether Nux Taku knew that dozens of minors were openly posting, sharing, and talking about adult content on his Reddit with adult strangers. As the head of that community, he bears ultimate responsibility for what he allows to happen in it. It was his responsibility to establish rules against this behavior and to enforce them. Even the most basic, common sense rule for an NSFW community was too much to ask. On December 30th of 2021, Nux Taku would launch his Discord server.
That's right, I opened a public Discord server. I swore to myself I would never do it because the degeneracy would be too much and the degeneracy is already too much. So join that Discord server. It's a public server. It's open. 16 or older though, please.
16?
I am happy that he has a minimum age rule this time, but setting it to 16 is a massive self-report that he is aware that a large chunk of his audience is underage.
Yeah. 16 is insane. This is like the whole fucking like IA server again, but this is way fucking worse. Jesus Christ, man. Okay.
It's also highly questionable, given his decision to launch the server with a set of NSFW channels, including an NSFW voice channel. To be honest, I was surprised that there were NSFW channels when the server rule said 16 and up, because NSFW is supposed to be 18 and up. I mean, if you already watch Nux, fair. To be clear, those channels were supposed to be only for adults. But given the state of Discord's age verification, setting a channel into NSFW mode doesn't really do anything to stop minors from accessing it. All they have to do is lie about their age to Discord. The channels were fortunately removed 6 days after the server was open to the public. The announcement of their removal does mention issues like minors sneaking in by lying about their age. However, the main reason was that having NSFW channels disqualified the server from Discord partnership. Some users protested. Nux's content already involved a lot of NSFW media, so why not allow people to post it in his community? A staff member responded.
What?
That the age group of the Billies, that being the name of Nux Taku's fandom, wasn't appropriate for it. So even Nux Taku's Discord staff members knew that a large chunk of his audience were minors. The decision to have NSFW channels on the server was already questionable in the first place, but it becomes even more questionable when you remember that Nux Taku made that predator catfishing video months earlier.
I wanted to make this sort of an educational topic and bring light to an issue that's really big. There's a lot of predators on Discord, like a lot.
There's a lot of predators on Discord, like a lot.
How do you make a video raising awareness of Discord predators, but then set up a Discord server which will facilitate adult conversations between adults and minors? But hey, they deleted the NSFW channels quickly, so the problem is solved, right? Not necessarily. Nux Taku shouted out to Discord on December 28th on his Twitch, and December 30th on YouTube.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop punching the microphone. Like, again, you're literally creating an environment that is incredibly, like, got clearly from the rip a sexual context to it. The content is sexual of the content creator. The channels incite like sexual discussion immediately to be posted, even if like, let's say for example, the child isn't able to access said Discord channel, right? you're still allowing them in the same space as people who are very much like wanting to interact with that material, degenerates who are into like that type of stuff that was related to Nux's content. Also, who's to say that like the material posted in those NSFW channels isn't like the illegal stuff that he was talking about on his channel? I don't know.
Audience floods in, there's problems with minors showing up in the NSFW channels, and then they find out that having them at all would disqualify them from Discord partnership. Instead of wiping them out instantly, they announce they'll be deleted in 2 days. Why? So that people can pay their respects to a Discord goon channel? I saw a member of the council mention that the users on the NSFW channels set up their own fan NSFW server, which I have to guess the staff allowed them to promote on those channels. I can't confirm that since those channels are now gone, but I saw one user, even in the general channel, promoting their own NSFW server. So all of those minors who were lying about their age in the first place and accessing the NSFW channel on Nux's server would just get funneled to that fan server instead. Who was moderating it? Who knows? What age verification standards were they going to uphold, assuming the admins are not minors themselves, or even worse, adult predators? There's a lot of those on Discord apparently. I'd like to remind you at this point that Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server was private when the NSFW channels were open in 2018. It was closed when the server was open to the public in January 2019. In Tyson's case, the drama was about Lava GS, Nathan, and apparently a handful of other minors being present on the server while it was private. The initial accusations made by Prison 42 also included claims of Tyson grooming Lava GS, but no evidence for that was ever found. The Discord just had NSFW content available to minors. By those standards, Nux Taku's Reddit was already way worse, and his Discord way worse 4 years after Tyson's Discord, when there was more of a general awareness of these issues. Tyson's server apparently still had sexual chats or juvenile banter after it went public, but looking at the kinds of terms that were frequently used on Nux's Discord, there was plenty of that to go around. If NSFW content was now banned from Nux Taku's Discord, how did they handle Nux Taku's NSFW content? If the thumbnails contained NSFW content, the staff members would remove their embeds. Darn Nux using blatantly NSFW thumbnails to stay in the Discord cache after he censors them. Some users would still post NSFW images from Nux's content or the content of his friends, and the staff, despite reacting to them, wouldn't delete them. God damn it, Nux. We're trying to keep the order. In a recent one, he used a thumbnail from an actual porn video. Ah, okay, so once again with the nip slip, I see. This is Pokemon-branded Lolly Bestiality in January 2022. According to the Wayback Machine, this thumbnail was left like this for months. This is on par with his idea to make Twitch streamers say the N-word. We removed the embed. Nux is pushing the limits, Lamau. What is he pushing the limits of? The thumbnail of his latest video. Then why he do it non-censored then? That's the big question. Here's a bigger question. If the age group of Nux's audience is too young for his Discord community to have NSFW channels, but most of the people on this server came from Nux's channel, why is the content of that channel too NSFW for the demographic of the Discord? Isn't this massively self-incriminating? Despite having this long history of running communities where minors were exposed to adult content, and that being the very core of his YouTube content for years, in 2024, Nux Taku wasn't only criticizing, but grandstanding over Ava Chris Tyson. He was also putting Lollipees into his content before and after he was supposed to confront Shadman for drawing Lollipees on September 30th of 2021. However, Nux Taku's numerous lies about his association with Shadman is something for a different video. There's also the V-Show drama to cover, which lots of people think he was in the right about. That is not the case at all, but again, different video. It's a real shame because what I'm going to reveal next is likely going to kill his career. Not to imply what I presented earlier isn't already bad enough, but this is just beyond forgiveness.
How the fuck can it get worse? We're over halfway in. How can it possibly get worse?
There is another Nux Taku Discord server, even older.
It got worse.
I saw an ad for it, which made me very intrigued.
Really help keep my channel afloat. All patrons are invited to the Discord server where we hang out having a great time, and unlike Tumblr, we have an NSFW section.
Yep, dude. I love when British people watch a video and go exactly. What more do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? It's 3 AM for me, okay? I'm not exactly going to be able to, like, scream at the top of my lungs how fucking abhorrent all this shit is, okay? It's so fucking disturbing, okay? It's fucking disturbing. There goes Hidden, sweeping the...
Welcome to the Nexus, Nux Taku's Patreon Discord, founded in April of 2018. In its current state, the server is almost totally inactive, but the NSFW channel is still here. Despite having an NSFW channel, the server's rules mention nothing about a minimum age, and there is nothing about it being 18+ on the Patreon side either. What's special about this community is Nux's level of engagement. He wasn't talking to people on his Reddit, and he kept the interactions on the public Discord to a minimum. However, on the Patreon Discord, at least in 2018-2019, he would actually talk to people, and
Sweeping for who? Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
hang out in voice chats with them. Here we can actually see him talking with the artist behind his 2019-era character. The original high-resolution files are here as well. This one, where Nux is rubbing his hands, has the file name nux_merchant.png. Very interesting. The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start. We can trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018, where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later. In response to this, Red raised their Patreon pledge, and Nux gave them a thumbs up. For a brief moment, let me take you to August of 2024. Nux Taku is finally being pressed about his past content, and he was actually pushed into making a response.
The biggest shock to me to this day entering the broader commentary sphere was the dangers lurking around every corner in regards to children.
You'd
children
sweep for me.
I only became chronically online after high school, but I couldn't imagine what it would do to me if I was in some YouTuber's Discord server at the age of 12 or 14.
You couldn't imagine. You don't
Yeah, buddy.
Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old. They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was born in 2004. They had turned 14 soon before they joined the server. The Discord was a pretty small clique, and soon enough, basically everyone on the server knew that Red was underage. Despite this, Nux Taku made the NSFW channel for them a month later, and within a year, they had posted 242 messages on the channel. There's also an instance where another user pinged Red into the NSFW channel. As far as I can tell, this behavior was not punished. So a 14-year-old paid Nux Taku money to be on his Patreon Discord server. He made the NSFW channel for them, after which he accepted even more money from them, and allowed them to post onto that channel for over a year before they left the server. But did Nux Taku know that Red was underage? There is no message of Nux acknowledging Red's age. However, it is extremely unlikely that he didn't know. In this conversation from earlier, where Red says they're lying about their age, Nux Taku shows up soon afterwards. In this conversation, there's some kind of an ERP going on in the general chat, which is interrupted by Red. Red is told not to get involved because they're underage. After Red says the conversation is making them gag, another user jokes, "Oh no, we better stop if we are gagging a minor." Red pinged Nux Taku soon afterwards, but Nux didn't show up. This is Mintheus Mouselord, or Mitochondria, or Mito. According to Nux Taku, they were the best poster on the NSFW channel. In this conversation about BDSM, we can see Red asking Mito to send their presentation on sex toys to other users. Note, I just made the presentation because Red was clueless. After Bex mentions having a high tolerance to weirdness, Nux shows up to say, "Proud fanbase." Gremlin asks,
"Yeah, and I'm calling microphone services on you for your abusing your poor mic." No. It deserved it, okay? It deserved it.
Mito to send the presentation to Nux. I think that Red already sent it to him. No, I told ya. Never sent it, but I can now. What are we sending me? A sex toy presentation. Why? Lol.
Content creators accepting money from children are a red flag, but you know what isn't a red flag? All of you lovely adults in the audience, okay? So please, remember, there are 51 of you currently watching the stream, okay? Like, subscribe, okay? If you feel like donating, that's entirely up to you. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And just like that, thank you very much, the Eversearcher, for $2 Canadian for your mic's medical bills. Good. I will wave those $2 in front of my microphone and laugh at it. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
We needed to explain sex toys to Red. Nah, it's fine if it's not sent to Nux. Already did, Mike.
Why are you explaining sex toys to a minor? Why? Why? Why?
So, I'm not doing honest descriptions on all Mito sex toys. A few minutes later at 2:16, Nux says, "Very cool, Mito, very cool." Nux Taku has now received a direct message from a minor on his server, containing a link to a sex toy presentation that was made for them. What adult is clueless about sex toys? That's a massive red flag that Red is a minor. There was a previous time a month earlier, when users in the voice chat text channel begged Nux Taku to join the VC because they needed help explaining sex toys to Red. Again, what adult doesn't know what sex toys are? In this example, Nux Taku declined the invitation to join the VC. But he absolutely was in voice chats with Red multiple times. One of my agents reached out to Red and asked him about their time on the server. They were willing to share their DMs with Nux to show that they did actually send him the sex toy presentation.
Fucking hell.
That actually happened. It wasn't just a joke. When asked about whether they were ever in voice chats with Nux Taku, Red recalled being in a VC with him plenty of times, a couple of times a week. They'd be surprised if Nux didn't notice them being underage, since everyone else did. However, they don't recall Nux ever commenting on their age. Now, I am not a journalist. I'm just a guy on the internet. However, I know you're not supposed to take one person's word and just run with it. Red could be misremembering, they might have some bias for or against Nux Taku, so it's important to have corroborating evidence. On December 15th, 2018, Nux Taku pinged a deleted user to a VC. Red says, "Nux is in VC, everyone flood," implying they joined the voice channel with Nux. There's a similar message from January 15th, 2019. If we scroll down a bit, we can see a screenshot showing Nux in the VC with Red. The real Nux Taku here is the real Nux Taku. Here's another screenshot from the time. Same name, same avatar. The current music channel used to be the old voice text channel, and on it we can sometimes see Red and Nux posting things close to each other that only makes sense if they were in the VC at the same time.
Yeah.
Here, for example, Nux is working on a thumbnail. There's a message from Red, messages from Nux Taku, and then a message from Red. An hour later, messages from Nux Taku. In this one, we have a message from Red addressing Nux. Later a photo from Nux, then a photo from Red. In this instance, Red asks somebody to join the VC. Another user posts a caked up Charizard. Nux Taku shows a work in progress thumbnail. Message from Red, the Charizard from earlier is now on Nux's thumbnail. There's plenty of evidence of Red speaking, having audio issues, and other users commenting about their voice. So it's not like they never talked in the VC. I think this evidence sufficiently corroborates Red's recollection that they were in the VCs with Nux Taku multiple times. I'm not sure about a couple times a week, but certainly multiple times.
Because again, right, if they were talking in VC, there'd be absolutely no way that Nux wouldn't be able to know that this person was underage. Because it's a kid. He's gonna sound like a fucking squeaker, right? How would you not know? Along with all like the text evidence that you have, where there's consistently conversations talking around this person in relation to them being a minor, and talking about sexual stuff, and Nux being like almost right near the crime scene, basically, of it happening. And the fact that even then, right, this server was allowed to be moderated and allowed to be ran is insane. Insane.
Red was already behaving in a pretty immature way, even in the text message.
How does this DJ still have a platform? I think he mainly moved to Twitch, from my understanding. I'm not going to show his channel on the stream. Let me look it up. Nux Taku. Let me have a look. Does this guy still upload? He does still upload. But from my understanding, he's entirely shifted away from this content. And has for a long time. I thought he was mainly like a Twitch grifter. But it seems to be that a lot of it is like the right-wing grift. I think he's been doing this for a while. So basically what that means is like a lot of his old stuff ended up getting buried. Which means that people forgot about it. I mean, I've scrolled all the way down, right? I've scrolled down to like, what, a year on his channel, and one of the videos that come up is Quite. And it's saying 8 YouTubers try to survive my browser history game show. And it's got Real 34 in the thumbnail. Like the site. What the fuck are these? Okay. Yeah, and then it's all like his weird like sexual shit. So like he stopped doing this about a year ago now. And after that he just started mass doing like I'm assuming these are like VODs or like cut up VODs. Because they're only about like 15 minutes each, right? I mean, does he live stream on YouTube? No, he doesn't. I think these are all like cut up Twitch VODs is what I'm gonna gather from this. But yeah. That's how he's managed to survive for so long, because he just swept his old content under the rug and then just moved on. But yeah.
They would spam emojis and walls of text. To believe that Nux Taku didn't know Red's age, you'd have to believe he missed all of the instances when their age was mentioned. You'd have to believe no one told him Red was a minor in chats, VCs, or DMs, and that Nux didn't realize it from their voice when talking to them in VCs. This should already be enough to strongly conclude that Nux Taku knew. But to show the full extent of the evidence and the full extent of Nux Taku's beyond incomprehensible neglect, we need to introduce a new character. After joining the server, Red quickly made friends with another user called Alan Vebus. I know that Alan's avatar here looks an awful lot like Mr. Obvious from my engineer video, but they are not the same person. Alan was a small anime creator at the time and would promote his videos on Nux's Discord. The metadata of his channel reveals that he is from Romania, and he would often mention things about it on the server. There's a lot of conversations between them and Nux Taku on the server, and Nux has mentioned Alan's name 100 times. He even shouted out Alan's channel in a video from October 22nd, 2018.
All patrons are invited to the Discord server, where we do things like make fun of Alan Weebus. If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy. He's in a special kind of category where everyone that relates to him in any way is a tsundere, because we all constantly make fun of him and make believe we hate him, but we all low-key like him. And also, thank you, Alan Weebus, for donating $10 on Patreon, so now I get to shout you out in all my videos. Link to Alan Weebus' channel is actually in the description. He makes funny shiz, and he takes the edge out of edgy, which leaves you just why? Like, why is he making this video? That kind of thing. Anyway, special thanks to King Beat My Meat Sage.
Alan was a very major contributor to the NSFW channel. However, according to Nux, they were still inferior to Mitochondria. He apparently got his material from following more than 300 hentai artists on Twitter. But that's only a third of the amount of text he was following. Alan has made a lot of claims about their age, including saying that he was as young as 15. Plenty of users, including Nux Taku, have also claimed Alan to be underage. Alan is a lolly, no can do. Alan is underage. Does that mean Nux is grooming Alan?
Christ.
What's going on here? According to Red's recollection, Alan was around 19 at the time. In this tweet, they claim to be 19 in 2019. So if they're telling the truth here, they would have been 18. Another former member believed Alan to be around 21. According to Red's recollection, no one on the server genuinely believed Alan was underage. These statements about Nux grooming Alan or Nux calling Alan a lolly are simply jokes. Very optically bad jokes, but jokes nonetheless. While I'm not sure about Alan's exact age, they were clearly an adult. Alan has unfortunately deleted their Discord account, which makes it hard to determine which messages are his. But we can still tell if it's him talking thanks to context clues. Here Nux Taku mentions that Megumin from Konosuba is best girl. Alan points out that she is 14 years old. Another deleted user, who I assume is Sak, asks Alan about another character called Tiger. There's two deleted users talking here, so how can we tell them apart? Alan must be one of them because their name is mentioned. So this one must be Sak. One of them mentions the age of consent in Romania being 15, so that must be Alan. Sak uses capitalization, while Alan doesn't. That's how we know that it was Alan who said, "Who cares? If she can count, then she's ready to mount."
This is Hassan taking more shots at Nux Taku in his week-long feud with me while defending his bro tips past. Alright, I never brought up his—
Thank you very much, the Eversearcher, for the $2 Canadian. Yen's problematic, condones mic abuse, cancelled. True. Very true. Just for you.
bro tips past because I felt like it was so long ago it's not worth it, but he's bringing up like random shit from forever ago and warping it into calling me a pedophile for insane reasons. Did you know that in his bro tips past he had a famous quote where he said if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount?
Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
What?
If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
When Hassan said that in 2013, he was playing a character, and he was asking it, not flat out stating it like Alan did. We can see Nux Taku right here, not condemning those words at all. So he either used to not care about pedophile behavior, didn't think that it was pedophile behavior, or his attack on Hassan is knowingly deceitful. There's a difference between waifu and best girl. Waifus are mountable, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense. Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years, but it didn't stop him from posting it onto YouTube. Then Alan says, lollies are very mountable. Nux Taku responds, you're terrifying, Alan, and moves on. This was 12 days before Nux gave Alan that shout out on his channel, so Alan saying things like this didn't seem to be a problem to him.
And he takes the edge out of edgy.
Look at this art. This art is better, and it's Alan posting a comic about some boy kissing his dog. I wish I would be able to get sick from stuff like this again. By the way, don't ask why do I have that. Why do you have that? Red sent it to me. He always sends me fucked up shit like this. That guy's a sociopath, I tell ya. Red shows up and claims Alan is the one who sent it, and shows a screenshot from their DMs. Wow, you resort to Photoshop to make me look bad? Shame. Red shares another screenshot, showing some of Alan's earlier messages. People have no shame, shake my head. Also, I hope someone at school sees you watching this.
What
is
the
that
fuck?
Minecraft? Yes, I'm 15. Deal with it. Oof, I feel old. He's literally the youngest guy here. I am the youngest? Oh, he is. Makes sense. Yep, Red is 15-year-olds personified. Huh, I'm still underage. So, because you're talking to me, you are all technically pedophiles. Not me.
Bro.
Yep, remember, the age of consent in Romania is 15, so I can smack your ass all I want.
What?
It's only been 26 minutes since the last time Alan brought up the Romanian age of consent. Alan would make similarly inappropriate comments about Red on the 16th of December. But let's return to October 8th. You are willing to send me the most fucking disgusting shit you have. I only send it to you because you're 15. Exactly. Nobody else would. I initially planned to traumatize you because you were acting tough, but I underestimated you. Who, me? I'm
What
not
the
tough.
fuck?
I guess edgy instead of tough. I am edgy. Not that tough though. Yeah, I got that. I need to train you to become tough. Okay. At this point, Nux Taku or the moderators should be intervening and investigating what's happening in the DMs between Alan and Red. However, there wouldn't be any moderators or rules on the server until 2020. In late 2019, the server was raided by gore spammers multiple times, and Nux Taku did nothing about it. What finally made him appoint moderators is when his patrons pulled their pledges. This is one of his own newly appointed moderators saying it at the time. According to Red, on the first day they joined the server, Alan spammed their DMs with a bunch of gore and NSFW content. There are multiple instances of Red or Alan publicly mentioning Alan sending gore to Red. Here's one from October 6th. On October 14th, Alan mentioned showing his personal collection to Red. On January 1st, 2019, Alan actually posted a gore image into the voice chat channel and pinged Red. In February 2019, Red reacted to a meme by saying, I can take pictures of men's penises being cut in half, but this is too much even for me. It was a gif and just a tip. Yeah, but dramatic effect, Alan. Shake my head. The message below contains nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from Nux Taku. Alan having a fascination with gore seemed to be pretty well known on the server. One regular user made this meme about the various quirks of the other regular members. Alan's comedic mummary was, posting extreme mutilation pics. Notice that Nux Taku was pinged on this message. Sending this kind of material to a minor is very harmful and a crime, and it's been going on for 5 months, and Nux Taku has done nothing. Red would sometimes ask Alan to send him things. Send me the most fucked up shit you have. Look for it yourself. I want my friend to know you are worse than the dark web. Soyboy here is another adult user and also a small anime creator. He already knows that Red is underage. Despite this, he asks Red if he can send them something truly disturbing. Okay, Soy, send it to me. Come on. I expected at least nuggets. If you don't know what that
What
word
the
means,
fuck?
then look it up. Alan proceeds to drop codes to some extremely obscene comics. Thanks, Alan. Soy, I am extremely disappointed. Red, you scare me. That is actual animal rape and murder. I know. How is that not the most fucked up thing? Alan sent me a video of a man getting his head off by a machete. Real life, of course. Nux Taku was pinged about something off topic immediately after that message, but he didn't show up. After getting Nux Taku to create the NSFW channel, Red suggested making a Not Safe for Life channel for Alan, to which Alan said, I wouldn't make Nux Taku watch something like that. You, on the other hand, can get it. Nux Taku's nowhere to be seen, but then Soy Boy mentions Toei Animation claiming one of his videos. Nux Taku replies to him with advice, once again showing how close he was to seeing these warning signs. Beyond conditioning Red into tolerating extremely shocking and obscene imagery, Alan also encouraged them to drop out of school. On Tuesday, October 9th, Red mentions skipping school to binge watch anime. Alan cheers them on and says that skipping school is badass, and that he's doing it as well, because he's a badass like Red. On October 10th, Nux Taku pings various users, including Red, to inform them that he finished reading the
Dude, this Alan guy just sounds like one of those people, like, oh god. It reminds me of, like, those things you'd hear about, like, those blue whale, things, if you remember that. But, like, real. Like, I'm not gonna explain what the blue whale thing was. If you know what it was, you know what it was. Very fucked up shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain what it is, but if you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And this guy was just kept around in this server with a bunch of minors in it this entire time. Brother. Yeah.
Manga all in one day. School got cancelled for the rest of the week for me because the head teacher got so I shall be around lots. Words like head teacher and school are used by children, not college students. Another clear red flag that Red is a minor, right in Nux's face. What? Go to sleep, kid. Another clear indication that Red is a minor. Yeah, lol, 176 chapters in a day. This is 5 days before Red got Nux Taku to create the NSFW channel. If you're worried about that...
Why did it take so long to Nux get cancelled at this rate? Was his connection to bigger creators that much of a guard? I think that's a part of it. I think that's definitely could have been a contributing factor, but I have a sneaky suspicion that, and this is just like a theory, that one, it was because his like past had been buried, and it was from a period of YouTube where this stuff was seen as, at least from a content side, was seen as like, I don't want to say acceptable, but like, it was never really punished, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of like, other stuff, like the different stuff to do with like prank channels and stuff to do with like Elsagate. Back then, a lot of like stuff on YouTube was incredibly disturbing, and it was kind of just accepted, if that makes sense. It was very much like an accepted thing, I think. It does not make it okay in any part whatsoever. But I think that was probably a contributing factor. Because, God, I'm trying to remember now. Because, yeah, there would be, like, content of, like, people doing, God, I'm trying to remember what else there would be. There would just be people reacting to the most disgusting shit. I mean, for example, you had people like, what was his name? The horror channel that got cancelled. The one that was involved with mainly the spreading of the Daisy's Destruction video. That guy, for example, like, just reviewing that shit. Like, there was corners of the internet, or corners of YouTube, that would just, like, Plague Moth, yes, Plague Moth, that's the one. Which was just, like, not really combated until, like, after YouTube started, like, cracking down in terms of moderation, because of they were losing advertisers, because the advertisers were figuring out, like, what kind of, like, videos their ads were going up on, and YouTube was just like, yeah, we need to do something about this. Which is insane that it took YouTube losing sponsorships and advertisers for that to happen. Insane.
Stabbing story. It's something that Red made up at the time. On Thursday, October 11th, Red mentions having skipped 4 days of school to binge anime. Another user cheers him on. School is a waste of time. On Monday, October 15th, Red thinks about joining a VC because there's a lot of people on, but he says that school starts in 30 minutes. Alan once again encourages Red to skip school. On Thursday, October 18th, Red asks Alan for advice on how to lie to their parents to get out of school. Anyone here a good liar? Alan makes multiple suggestions. On October 30th, Red pinged Alan because he wants to speak to someone that he trusts. Red mentions having the problem of no longer going to school. Alan asks if they quit like a badass mad lad, once again encouraging Red to drop out of school. On December 9th, Violet asks, are you guys students or out of school? Alan says he and Red dropped out. Red says that Alan inspired him. On January 4th, 2019, Red once again says he quit school. He doesn't care about it anymore. On April 10th, 2019, Red described themselves as a 15-year-old dropout. Alan shows up and says, agreed, and that's coming from an older dropout. So how did Red manage to drop out of school? Let's go to February 2019. Red is talking to Bex, who seems to be having some form of breakdown caused by opiate withdrawals. Many of Bex's messages actually mention them being addicted to drugs, spending all their money on drugs, and having various mental illnesses.
What great people to be kept around.
About what I'm going to show next. I might be overly cautious here because YouTube does not like when certain things are discussed, such as SH. And in this exchange, knowing they're in the presence of a minor, Bex explains how it works and basically makes it sound really cool. Red mentions having used SH to manipulate their parents into letting them quit school. Really? That's impressive. Red expressed that they felt like a terrible person for doing it, how it felt, and they mentioned only doing it twice, to which Bex says, psh, imagine only doing it twice. I decided to stop before I couldn't. Real sad boys have on their thighs. Red then reveals that they took their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments,
okay.
Enough to cause the effect, which makes SH addictive. Based on their comments from back then.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna... Yep. Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to skip that.
Alan posted a bait-and-switch video into the general chat channel. The thumbnail shows a naked woman, but when the video is played, it switches to a video containing stuff like this. Despite the warnings given by other members to not look at it, Red can be seen giving their reaction to the video. You can take that as corroboration for my testimony of what the video is. Violet said that Alan should be banned. Nux Taku was then pinged because Alan did something bad. Nux shows up and says, wow, didn't see that one coming, and he then leaves. He took no action. He didn't delete the video or punish Alan or anything. Again, that was January of 2019. Nux Taku would still have Alan on the Rant Cafe podcast in July and August.
He had him in content?
We also, believe it or not, have Alan Weebus himself.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm the replacement for Animac forever. He's dead now. I killed him. So you're gonna have to get accustomed to my presence from now on.
Despite everything that was happening for months, Nux Taku publicly endorsed this guy and presented him to his audience as this harmless, funny troll guy. When I asked Red about these old messages concerning their personal situation at the time, they said it was the beginning of probably the darkest period in their life. The good news is that they stopped self-harming in 2021. They went into a dropout rehabilitation program, and they are now working on their university degree. To clarify something.
So these people genuinely had like such an effect on this kid that he would start doing the SH. And was clearly like traumatized by a lot of the material that these people were showing him. And Nux was in charge of the server the entire time and did nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. What a disgusting creature.
I reached out to Red because I saw their post on the Discord from years ago. They didn't reach out to me, no one tipped me off about them, I discovered them myself. I haven't conducted any in-depth interview with this person. I would just send them questions every now and then, and laid out this timeline and asked for their thoughts. They described it with the words, all of that is accurate to my knowledge. They don't remember anyone on the server really recommending them to seek help. When I asked about how they felt about Alan's behavior, they recognized that it was inappropriate towards a 14-year-old, but they don't believe he had any sexual grooming intention or meant what he was doing in that manner. They also mentioned Alan being very troubled at the time, which based on Alan's messages, assuming he isn't lying, seems to be true. Based on the logs I've shown, it's tempting to conclude that the influences that Red was exposed to through Nux Taku's unmoderated Patreon Discord server led to them dropping out of school at age 14 and getting into SH. The timeline laid out by the messages and by Red's testimony does support that idea, but to actually determine if that's the underlying reality would require further investigation. However, regardless of the actual consequences, allowing people to encourage or praise this kind of behavior in the first place is already insane. What is clear is that Red was repeatedly exposed to extremely obscene NSFW content.
Whether or not it did end up having an impact on them or not is beside the point. The fact is, it could. Like, if you want to take that middle of the ground approach, it could have. That's the risk. That's the underlying risk with doing this sort of thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be pretty confident to say, based on what we've seen so far, that was definitely a part of what impacted this kid into doing the things that he did. And that's just awful and disgusting
and gore on the server, and that Nux Taku made the NSFW channel because Red requested it, and then accepted more money from them. If Nux Taku was too busy to moderate the server properly, it's not like he was totally unfamiliar with the concept of moderators. If he was, the 16th message on his Discord server was a user recommending him to designate moderators, to which Nux responded, indeed. One of the basic responsibilities of a Discord server operator is to make sure that children are not exposed to adult content on their server. By allowing Red on the server and allowing them to be exposed to all of these harmful influences, based on my estimation, Nux Taku made $46. Not only did he fail to carry out that basic responsibility, he made money from neglecting it, something which would eventually become a core element of his success. If you remember, the Chris Tyson server closed its NSFW channel in January 2019, before the server went public. Nux Taku's Patreon NSFW channel is still open in 2026. There is no age verification process, and anyone with $1 can join in. The channel hasn't had a new post since 2024, but it was still active when Nux Taku was casting judgment on Eva Tyson. It's probably good to point out that Nux Taku and Eva Tyson were both born in 1996. Tyson in July, and Nux Taku in February. Nux Taku is a few months older than Tyson, but he was making demonstrably worse mistakes at the same age, and continued to make those mistakes for years afterwards. There is no evidence that Tyson ever grooming anyone on the server, but her career was still destroyed by the controversy, something which Nux Taku cheered on. And with that, I conclude the first part of our dive into Nux Taku's history. In the next part, I'll show the dishonest ways in which he has defended his past content to his new religious right-wing audience, an audience that he's attracted by saying stuff like this.
Banning our books! They're firing! They're not banning your books, they just don't want them in schools teaching children and grooming them. There's a big difference between banning books and not wanting to show sexualized, pornographic, grooming material to kids.
Yeah, buddy.
Big difference, actually. This dude is like, I cannot believe they are banning our porn from the schools. All I want to do is show sissy, hypno, transgender porn to 7-year-olds, and society does not let me. All right, so you have the interracial gay couple. So smooth. Raising a kid. For your two biggest fans. And this is a boy in a tiara and a skirt. I'm telling you, it's grooming. It's so obviously grooming. It's so obviously grooming, man.
Jesus Christ.
With free thoughts and with critical thinking and not being indoctrinated into their beliefs. That's the biggest fear of fascists. And
you literally have a pedophile flag on your shirt.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
Bitch, you literally have a pedophile flag in your background and you're wearing a nose ring. What are we talking about? Why would anyone ever take you seriously?
It's gonna be fun. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed it.
Me.
And of course, congratulations on your 30th birthday, Nux Taku. See you later.
This guy's 30? Oh my god. Oh. The right-wing grift as well, to hide the fact that this guy was just sending and like allowing kids to see the most horrible shit ever, both publicly on YouTube, encouraging them to be able to access said material via his public YouTube channel, allowing and fostering YouTube Discord communities that would allow these kids to see this content, and not just that content, but also like led to a kid most likely self-harming and dropping out of school because of it. Because of a guy he thought was just like a silly little guy. Despite the fact that right in front of him, this guy was just being the most disgusting, horrible piece of shit ever. I really recommend you guys subscribe to Nikandros. He's made some really good videos in the past. He did a really good one talking about Mudaha. Who was a guy that collaborated with Nux Taku at one point. He had a whole podcast with Nux Taku. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's really late for me. I streamed a bit later than I should be. We're gonna look at Nux's quote-unquote response, and then I'm probably gonna end stream. It's a lot more of a shorter stream than what I normally do, but after that, I think I need a break. So yeah. We're gonna load this up. That's not the tweet. That's not the tweet. That is Himbleton's hairline. But we have this clip here. Nux Taku refuses to react to Nikandros' expose video on him. I want to spend 4 hours reacting to a video calling me a pedophile for things I've already addressed. Interesting.
This is the guy that made the video. If you want to watch the full video, you should go watch it, by the way, if you want. If you want to watch an hour and a half of this guy calling me a pedophile, with zero evidence that I'm a pedophile, you can watch this video. That would be great.
He at no point in this video called Nux a pedophile, by the way. At no point in the video did Nikandros call him a pedophile.
Go do that. All right, I'm not trying to hide that or anything. Just to be clear. All right, we're not putting it under the rug at all. Absolutely. If
but you won't react to it.
I will not be spending 4 hours reacting to an hour and a half long video
calling me a pedophile again and again and again for things I've already addressed. This is the guy that made...
Have you ever addressed your Discord server, Nux? Have you ever addressed the private Discord server, the Patreon server? Have you ever addressed the fact that you were basically sending children to watch the most disgusting, depraved stuff ever? Jesus Christ. Was there another one? I swear there was. I think Samuel made a tweet. Let me have a look. Where'd it go? This one here. I think Nux Taku might have the best response so far I've seen. Just pray that your audience hasn't seen the video that dropped against you and blatantly lie in your defense. When there's evidence in the video you're responding to that immediately proves your defense is to be a lie. Interesting.
It's like, oh, a guy got groomed in a Discord, which is fucking awful, don't get me wrong, and I'm really sorry if I contributed to that at all. It's really fucking awful.
Yeah?
But I really didn't contribute to that much at all.
Much? Much?
Like, if we were being honest.
Much?
Someone entered a Discord and lied about their age, and someone...
They didn't lie about their age. It was right in front of you, you cunt.
else in the Discord, in one of my servers, over
Yeah.
the years, and someone messaged that guy lewd stuff.
They sent them gore. And told them to skip out school. And pornography.
Which is awful. But yeah.
But?
Unfortunately, parents need to make sure that their kids aren't logging into 18+ servers.
Despite having an NSFW channel, the server's rules mention nothing about a minimum age.
Yeah.
And there is nothing about it being 18+ on the Patreon side either.
You know? It's awful, don't get me wrong, but that's that. It's like...
This guy... Trump would love this guy. Genuinely. Dude, get this guy on Trump's defense team. He is just... And the reason why I say that, right, if you guys seen, like, this stuff like, Pam Bondi or whatever the fuck, like, getting, like, questioned about stuff related to the Epstein files, that's exactly how she would respond. Exactly how she would respond. They would go swimmingly together. Was there anything else? Miskiff did a reaction? Okay. Is there anything else?
Has gotten so good that AI fight scenes are better than death battles fight scenes.
Okay. Is there anything else? Is he responded anywhere else?
Because of a Discord. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that a bit today. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be rude. You know what? We'll save it for when I talk about it.
Yeah?
We'll save it for when I talk about it. It might have been one of the most disingenuous, slanderous campaigns ever.
Yeah?
But we'll talk about it a bit. It's unbelievable, to be honest.
Nikandros only made points in relation to the evidence that you yourself had available, and tried to obfuscate by privating and unlisting videos.
It really is. It's like, oh, a guy got groomed in a Discord.
Okay, yeah, so it's that clip again. Is there anything else? What's this?
Red joined the server, but and with it technically...
It's just the video clip? Okay. Is there anything else? It's just that one clip. Fuck off, man. Is that Papa Gut? Yeah, it is. Okay, buddy. Okay. I think that's everything I'm going to cover with this. Nikandros did a really good job with his video. Nux is a disgusting fucking creep. I would say... Dude. He's as close as a pedophile can be without actually being one. That's what I'll say on Nux. Okay? This guy just is entirely running from any level of responsibility. And it's fucking abhorrent. Genuinely abhorrent behavior. But yeah. I'm gonna see who else is live. And then I'm gonna raid you guys in. Because I need to go to bed. It's very late for me. I think I'm gonna do the social repose thing for its own different stream. I know that me and Ace have got to continue doing our thing for the Deed and Silver stuff. Yeah. I do apologize that my voice sounds a bit more dead during this. One, I'm tired, and two, this topic genuinely disgusting. I had to skip a part of it because of that. But yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me just do the redirect, then I'll read this. Who's live? I'll send you over to Himpleton. Thank you very much, Metalman, for becoming a member for 5 months. Thank you very much. Fine, go to sleep. Thank you very much, Mailman. But yeah, good night, Yen. Thank you for getting me through work. No worries. Hopefully next time I'm gonna be streaming a bit earlier. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.